Friends and family, welcome to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for this ACHA matchup between the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles and the visiting Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Mr. Gary Allen. And Gary, we have made it to weekend number 2 here at the URC. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I hope the next 2 games were as good as last weekend's. They were outstanding hockey games last week.
Yeah, last week here at the URC, the Eagles took on Montana Tech, split that series 6-2 Friday, and then lost in overtime 4-3 on Saturday night. Real quick, let's take a look at the starting lineups. In net for the Raiders is Cody Cass. In front of him, Pakacha and Hruby. And up top, Reeder, Tortolat, and Groberek. For Eastern Washington, the starters out there in net, number 31, Sam Brash. In front of him on the blue line is Josh Boot and Sterling Myers. Up top is Robbie Arver, Sean Smith, and the return to the lineup for Dom DeZerkis. Sean Smith coming into the game, the team leader, second in points on the team behind Joel Lust. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points on the season so far for Sean Smith. A big hit at the top of the zone by Robbie Arver to get this one started and get the crowd into it.
Well, he should have a lot of energy since he took he had the game off Saturday. Break. So
yeah, if you guys had the opportunity to tune in last Saturday to hear Gary and Robbie call the game against Montana Tech, quite the experience there. Good fill-in by number 2, Mr. Robbie Arver.
Well, I'm hoping Eastern picks up where they left off last week. They played extremely hard and attacking style. They were just all over Montana Tech, and it worked really well for them. It took a long time for Montana Tech to finally figure out what they want to do, but if Eastern keeps playing like that, it'll be interesting, especially since I don't know anything about the Raiders. I haven't seen them, so I don't know what style of game they like to play.
They've got a very short schedule lined up for the season, only 10 games. They started it off last weekend as here comes Lusk for Eastern Washington, gets that one on net, and it's kicked away by Cass. They started last weekend with a high-scoring 6-5 victory over Roosevelt University. But, Gary, let's get to know the Milwaukee School of Engineering just a little bit. They were founded in 1903, and they are one of the top private engineering universities in the Midwest with about 2,600 students. They're known for their small class sizes, hands-on learning. They've got, obviously, a strong focus on engineering as well as nursing and business, and is nationally ranked for their tuition return on investments. Outside of the hockey team, they are a D3 university that plays in the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference. And the Raiders, they play in the NCHA, the Northern Collegiate Hockey Association, with programs like Adrian, St. Norbert, Lake Forest. Adrian, a powerhouse at the D1 level. So some tough work ahead of them in the conference. But there's your little get to know you for the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders. You hear that, Gary? It's Taylor Swift night.
I was pumped. I was pumped the whole day to come out here, hear nothing but Tay-Tay's music, buddy. I'm serious.
Oh. It's album release day. The life of the showgirl. Players out there trying to show what it's like to be the life of the hockey player. There's a little tie-up right in front of the net. Reeder for the Raiders couldn't get it out of the end. Eastern doing what we saw them do last weekend and really keep it pinned deep in the attacking zone. Just doing everything they can on the forecheck to keep the Raiders in.
Well, that's what helped them against the Ore Diggers. They kept attacking in the Ore Diggers zone like they're doing tonight, and in the Raiders zone, they're just putting relentless pressure, and that worked tremendously for them both games last week. And right now, even though there's only been one shot, I've been watching Cass, and he looks like he's got extremely solid lateral movement in net for the Raiders. So it'll be interesting to see how Eastern will adjust to him.
Reeder trying to beat that puck out and get an attempt on net for Milwaukee. And we see some bodies flying on both sides so far. Takeaway by the Raiders and a good recovery by Eastern Washington. The Eagles in the white and red uniforms moving from left to right across your screen. And the Raiders from Milwaukee in the black and red moving from right to left. Puck off into the far corner. Couple of players banging off of each other, but Milwaukee gets that out into neutral ice and then pushes it ahead as Barnard going to have to give chase. Raiders able to keep it in. Eagles trying to find the puck at their feet. 3 white uniforms, and finally coming away with it is Stetcher. Stecker feeds it ahead. Now along the near side wall, that's Kartchurn. He has it taken off of his stick. As Kadera going to bring it across the blue line, gets a shot on net for the Raiders. And as soon as I said Eastern Washington has them pinned in their own zone, the Eagles immediately gave up possession and haven't been able to really maintain it since then. And as I say that, here they come back the other way down the ice as Arver tries to go around the outside of a player, feeds it to the slot, but nobody home. All the way back out to center ice. The official almost catching an elbow there from Smith. A walk-in, top shelf goal by Eric O'Reilly. He snuck in behind the defense, and there was nothing that Sam Brash could do on that one. Point-blank shot from the left slot, and just like that, Milwaukee going to pull out ahead just 5 minutes, 23 seconds into this opening period.
Yeah, basically what it seemed like what happened was Eastern was trying to make a body check on him, and they missed him. And O'Reilly just went right around, and he looks like he's extremely quick. And you're right, there wasn't much Brash was going to do. It was a top shelf shot. And so great play by the Raiders. It's just unfortunate for the Eagles to really kind of miss that body check.
And they're going to give that one to O'Reilly unassisted, as it should be. A shot from the top of the zone almost catches Cass off guard. That goal officially 5:23 of the first period. Eric O'Reilly unassisted, putting Milwaukee up by 1.
Right now, Cass looks awful tough in that net. I've been watching him a lot, and he moves extremely well. He's quick, got great reflexes. He may be a chore for the Eagles, but again, they just got to keep putting pucks on the net, test them out, see if they can go low, see if they can go high. One thing the Eagles need to go back, they had control. Here we go again. Lusk
puts that one right in the center of the logo. Now looking on the back door. Couldn't find it, but picks it up off of the wall. Lusk circles the zone, thinks about the shot, gets it over to the right side, feeds it out front, but can't find the stick of, looked like that was Kendall waiting out front.
Yeah, it looked like he was looking for a tip-in off that one. Nice play all the way around. But just when I was getting ready to say, what Eastern did great at, they controlled the neutral zone. And right when I was going to say it, Lusk came in and stole the puck in the neutral zone. And that's what helped them against the Orediggers last week, was they just owned the neutral zone, and everything was setting up off that. If they can go to that game, they'll get some open shots. It'll just be interesting to see how Cass reacts to it.
Well, just looking at Cass's stats from that first game that they played against Roosevelt, he let in 5 goals, but he faced 54 shots, and now here comes Milwaukee the other direction. So even letting in 5 goals, still a .907 save percentage. Eastern Washington looking to get fancy with the passing, and now it's heading the other direction on the stick of Reeder. Tough shot out into neutral ice. Lusk with it on his stick again. Brings it across the line on the backhand. Now at his feet. Doesn't know where it is. Still somehow maintained possession. As coming across the blue line was Barnard as the blue line monster got him. But now puck back to him. Schoenfielder. He's going to put that one high and off the mark. Now chasing is O'Reilly. He scored that first goal and put the Raiders up by 1 early in this one. Pacochi knocked out of the zone as he puts that one towards the goal. And Kendall can't hold on to it. The Raiders going to go all the way back to their defensive zone, give Eastern Washington a chance to get some fresh skates. Barnard at the blue line, high dump down into the corner. Now heading the other direction is Eli Nickish off of his stick, back behind the goal. McGowan has it, fires it around the boards. Looking to give chase is Leonov. And now here comes Eastern Washington with numbers, a 4-on-2 opportunity. Bunch puts that one on the net, sticked into the netting in front of the 21 and over VIP area by Cody Cass. 11:47 left to go in this opening period. Cass 5 saves already.
One thing I noticed what the Raiders are doing, they're making Eastern chase them right now, and that's different than how they played last weekend. Eastern didn't chase the Ore Diggers. Good job by the Raiders to get the Eagles a little discombobulated right now.
Turnaround shot by Nickish off the leg pads of a Raider. And now Milwaukee heading the other way, right at the blue line, chopped in that time by Yang. So going to go over to the far side. Eastern Washington picking it up behind their own net, now pushed ahead, just out of the reach of Bunch. He's in a foot race, trying to beat out Belmonte, and the Raiders will win the race to the puck, and now we'll turn our action to the other side of the ice.
One thing I've noticed is Eric O'Reilly, he looks like an offensive force for the Raiders, as is Yang. Both of those players, they caught my eye right away, and O'Reilly is extremely quick, and he's got great hand-eye coordination, moves the puck extremely well. Eastern's going to have to keep an eye on him tonight.
Now another shot on net off the face-off. Back out past the blue line, but Picoci able to get it over to Reeder. Reeder knocked off of the puck. Now near side to Bunch. Bunch for Eastern Washington. Pushes it ahead right at the blue line. It's touched up by Leonov. He's going to battle for that puck again. Puts it in the slot. Eastern Washington getting the puck to the right places, but can't find a player there. Dangerous early.
They just look a little disjointed right now for some reason. They started out the first 2 minutes really looking solid, and then they kind of got off their game a little bit, and they're just running around.
Myers had it for Eastern Washington. He was slapped about 14 times with that stick and then finally caught the blade of it. So he's going to earn Eastern Washington their first power play of the night, as it looks like it will be Tortolot that's going to head to the box. 9 minutes and 24 seconds into this period. Eastern Washington did well on the power play last week.
Well, there's a golden opportunity for Eastern, even just to settle themselves down, get back into their system, and start working that anticipatory hockey they did so well with last weekend.
Now's an opportunity for them to get back level with the Raiders. Puck to the top of the zone on the stick of Dzurkis. Lusk on the far side. He's going to fire it off the mark, but Dzurkis has to chase it back out into the neutral zone. Now passed ahead. Easy giveaway that time by Leonov. And Yang going to chase it all the way down the ice. Dodges that hit, and now Dzurkis with it. He's got Leonov up the ice. He's going to hold on to it. Kicks it back up to his stick. Dzurkis, forehand, looking for the backhand. Good read by Cass. Bunch able to keep that in. He's got Dzurkis up top. That's where he goes through traffic. Deflected. And they're going to say no goal. And now finally, yes, it was waved off initially. But Eastern Washington going to tie it up on the power play, as it looks like it was Jeff Leonov that tipped that one out front. Initially, the ref called it off and changed his mind. Must have thought that it went off of Leonov up top, but I thought it might have bounced off of one of the Raiders players out front.
It definitely hit someone. Obviously, they're going to give it to Leonov, so it must have hit him, but I was with you. It looked like it tipped off of a Raiders player, but however you look, that's what Eastern needed. They needed to respond to the Raiders.
Assist.
Oh, they have to, because he unloaded on that shot. He did hit a player, and that's where the puck kind of went behind the netminder. He had no hope on figuring out where the puck was. Now we'll see if Eastern can settle in a little bit more now that they got that goal. Here comes Bunch. He's coming up on the near side. Gave chase. Actually, he was innocent. It just kind of rolled in the neutral zone. He gave speed. Keegan Clark gets it. He dumps it in behind the net. Harver gets it. He's pinned up. He's looking for Eli Nikic. Comes all the way around to Clark. Clark just boots it down in the corner. Now they got a little scrum going on down. A big hit. Whoa. That was by Barnard.
Now you start looking to just send that back down the ice. Coming off of the bench here, Belmonte a little excited, threw his stick as he was coming over the bench. Officially that goal, a power play goal, 10:21 of the first period. Leonov from Dezerkis and Smith. Do we have this one ready for the replay? Let's take a look back at this one real quick. You see the puck goes back up to the top. Got taken on the ice here, kicked away. And it's fed up top, tipped around, and you can see the ref wave it off and then find the puck and point it in. Just like that, Eastern Washington ties it up, knotted at 1 as we're back underway here at the URC in Cheney. A power play goal for the Eagles. It looks like somebody else headed to the box here. A knee going to be called against Keegan Clark. It's a special emphasis in the ACHA this year. And they'll give him a 2 for knee. So Eastern Washington or Milwaukee now an opportunity to find their own power play goal as this one comes 11:49 of this first period. Clark 2 minutes for kneeing. The Eastern Washington Eagles officially on the penalty kill. And I guess they changed the call there as it came to the box. So a trip call, not a knee. 2 minutes for tripping for Keegan Clark. So it floats all the way back to Cass. Not afraid to come out of his net early in this one. Jelinek trying to make him make a mistake, putting that heavy forecheck pressure, even though Eastern Washington's down a man. As Milwaukee looking to set up. Lots of passing in their own end. And that leads to that mistake the Eagles were looking for. Lusk sends that hard along the wall, and it's going to float all the way up top. Now bounces all the way back. The interesting penalty kill strategy here for Eastern Washington.
Well, they're attacking.
They are, but Lusk feeding that puck up to the neutral zone, and then Robbie feeding it back into the near corner. Wasted a good 30 seconds of that power play time.
And that was an outstanding job by both of them because, again, they're looking to score. They're not sitting back just waiting to ride the penalty out. And this is where they're really effective as long as they keep putting pressure on it. You could tell the Raiders, they weren't really sure what to do because every time they looked up, there was a player on them.
Gaining the line and putting it on net was Cadera, and scooped up by Sam Brash. 21 seconds left on the minor penalty. We'll have a face-off coming to Brash's glove side.
Right now, both teams are real similar. They're in their size, their speed, and it looks like the Raiders are trying to do an attack style offense also, just like the Eagles are.
Well, it doesn't seem like either team's afraid to throw the body around. Well-built team out here from the Midwest. And as I say that, Dom absolutely levels a Raider on the far side.
Just welcome to Cheney.
Yeah, it looks like that was Meyer. He's going to head back to the bench, get himself a breather after that big one. And Barnard sends it in.
McGowan has it. McGowan had a strong 2 games last week for the Eagles. He's going to be an outstanding player.
Jelinek on the right side, trying to get a hold of it and then find somebody out front. Kendall has it, feeds it across. Jelly back with it again, tries to put it out front. Kendall just a couple of inches behind the puck on that one. And now with some quick feet is Kadera. He's going to beat the race to the puck and get a shot on net. Leonov up the right side. He's going to dump it in and allow Keenan for the Raiders to go get that one. Both teams finishing their hits out here so far. We'll see if the officials let them play. And that's going to lead DeZerkis to the box. They're going to call that one a board.
Wow.
And the fans not happy with that one here in Cheney. But the officials don't care about that. 15:04 of this second period. It's going to be Dom 2 minutes for boarding. The Eagles headed to their second penalty kill as they continue to give the Raiders an opportunity to pull ahead in this one.
That was an interesting call. I think that's what Arbor's doing. He's trying to get an explanation on what it goes. Dom just looked like he just did a straight body check on the dude. But anyway, the Raiders are on a power play, so
back with it now. Portalot up top. But Ryder going to hold on to it. Now he's going to go over to Capitano. Near side now to Tortolot. Puck out front, poke back to Tortolot. He's going to try and put it on net. Puck goes in and out of the leg pads of the netminder. And now sent down the ice, an opportunity for the Raiders.
Brash had it, but he wasn't sure exactly where it was, and it kind of trickled out on him. But good job by Sam to even knock down the first shot.
One touch to head to Lusk. He's taken out as he walks towards the net, and they're going to let that one go. As Lusk and the Eagles fans here thought that something was coming from that, but the officials just saw good defense by the Raiders. 1:05 left on the power play for the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders.
I'll tell you, I've been impressed with the Raiders' speed. They up and down this lineup so far, they seem extremely quick.
Bunch going to circle the zone. He's just going to bring it back out into his own end. And now Bunch going to give trouble to Cass. But Cass gets there first, sends it the other way.
Bunch is such a top-notch player. That kid, his motor never stops.
And here he goes again. First Eagle player on the attack. It's going to meet the Raiders behind the net, but instead it's going to go to Schoenfield there on the near side. Put back on net that time by Nickish. Yeah, he was heading back to the bench, but had to play defense as the Raiders heading the other way. Now Eli pushes it back out into the neutral zone. 10 seconds remain before DeZerkis exits the box. O'Reilly, the goal scorer, gets that one in. But now it's sent the other way. Jelinek puts that one on net and swallowed up by Cody Cass, his 8th save of the contest. As DeZerkis exits the box, back to full-strength hockey for the final 2:55 of this opening period.
One thing, Bunch, if you watch him, especially at home, he's going to make the Raiders do something that they weren't planning on doing. He always takes the lead, and he's trying to force them to go opposite of what they were initially planning, and it's very effective. He steals the puck quite a bit doing that way.
And I'm not even sure how that one ended up in the back of the net. We're going to have to look at the replay here.
But my hunch is it looks like the Durkis got it. I'm with you. I have no clue how that puck went in unless it went off the back of the netminder Cass.
This one coming 17-11. Dom DeZerkis putting Eastern Washington up here. We'll see if we get that replay here before we restart. We see it, and he just snuck it in the near post. Looked like he was. and just, you're right, Gary, bounced it right off of the backside.
Yeah, he just changed his mind and went off the back of the netminder. Good for him.
So that goal officially coming 17-11 of this first period. Dom Dezerkis with his first goal of the season, second point. And he puts Eastern Washington up by 1. Players tripping over each other in front of the scorer's box. And Arver going to send that one right on net from atop the Eastern logo at center ice.
Well, I think that's how it fooled us, is because it looked like he was going around the net, and Cass thought he was going to go around the net, and he started to break for it. Then he decided to bounce it off of him. Nice play by Dom.
That one back behind the net as Kendall going to get there. He tries to send it up. Jelinek at center ice. That's going to go off of the bench, it looks like. So we'll have a restart here in neutral ice. They'll just pick that face-off dot right in front of the Raiders bench. And in comes Kendall. He has it poked off of his stick, back out into the corner. It's going to go down low. Now looking for it up top. And the Raiders with numbers the other way. Good move on the stick by Ruby. Feeding it out front. And nobody home, but the Raiders still in possession. Easy pass off to Capitano. And they're going to say no goal, covered up by Sam Brash on the goal line to keep this one at a 2-1 scoreline with 1:07 left in the first period. Pushed back to the top of the circle on net immediately by Belmonte. And 1 minute left to go in the opening frame of this late night hockey game here in Cheney. Homecoming weekend, Taylor Swift night, and a packed house. Great hockey so far in Cheney. If you're looking to come out here tomorrow, game between these two teams starts at 1, and a good turnover, or takeaway rather, by your Raiders. As Capitano just mugged the Eagle player and able to get a shot off on net. So as I was saying, these same two teams tomorrow at 2 o'clock here at the URC. Stick around during the intermission as we're going to try and connect with our sideline interviewer, Reagan, downstairs. And another penalty called against Eastern Washington.
That was an interesting call.
7.7 left.
Didn't look like they were calling anything. And the Raiders, the one that kind of raised his arm and looked at the ref, and then he kind of went with the call on that one. So
another boarding call. Can't tell who that is over there. I think it's Karcher. No, it's McGowan. So Liam gets to take a 2-minute timeout. A lot of times these penalties that go over the intermission, they end up being shortened on both sides. It's not quite the labor on the offending team, but with only 7 seconds left in this first period, he's going to serve most of that penalty in the second period. And that'll do it for the first period of action here in Cheney, as the Eagles going to take a 2-1 lead into the first intermission over the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders. Goal scorers in this period for Eastern Washington, Leonov and Dezerkis. For the Raiders, it was Eric O'Reilly opening the score line. Gary, what do you take away from this first period? These two teams seem very evenly matched.
That's what I'm taking away from right now. They both actually seem like they've taken each other's game plan and kind of messed up with it. They're both battling the neutrals quite well, but they're a mirror image right now. You're right. You look at the shots on goal, 12-10 for the Raiders, but it's been a very close contest. Both teams are trying to sit there and figure out, okay, how are we going to make the other team make a mistake? But right now, they're both similar in styles.
We will wait for our friend Reagan downstairs. Excited to see who she's got to talk to down there. But so far, it's been a great matchup between two teams from across the country that typically wouldn't play.
Yes.
So you don't always get this kind of matchup in the ACHA. A lot of low-budget schools can't make this kind of travel, so it's great to be able to play a team from the Midwest that we wouldn't typically play against. But in that first period, 10 shots for Eastern Washington, 12 shots for MSOE.
She's ready.
She's got to unmute herself. Reagan, when you're ready, you just got to unmute, and then we are all ready to send it down to you.
All right, we are ready down here. Awesome. All right, Joey. So how do you kind of carry momentum from this last goal?
Yeah, it starts with getting this stuff that we can cut off the rest of the way here. And then I think it's just playing our game, not getting too high, not getting too low. Take it back.
Awesome. And then what changes are kind of going to be key to keeping the lead and trying to stay in the lead? There we go. So,
Yeah, no, we have to play 5-on-5 hockey. We can't be shooting ourselves in the box. Already this period a little undisciplined, so we have to tighten that up. If we play 5-on-5, I think I like our chances.
Awesome. All right, I'll let you get in there. Thank you so much, Joey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reagan, for speaking with assistant coach Joey Porco. We're going to step away. We'll be back in 15 minutes with the second period of this ACHA men's hockey contest between the Milwaukee School of Engineering and the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for this ACHA matchup between the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles and the visiting Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders. Our first period, we saw 3 goals starting off from the Raiders. It was number 5, Eric O'Reilly, just 5 minutes, 23 seconds into the game. And then it was all Eastern Washington as Jeff Leonov and Dom Dezerkis found the back of the net. And we are underway for period number 2. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, that first period, these two teams felt very evenly matched.
They're extremely evenly matched right now. And that, it just seems like both teams, not so much it's still the filling out process, but they're just kind of looking like both squads are waiting for the other team to make the mistake. But yeah, extremely mirror of each other. I mean, I would like to see Eastern get a little bit more control of the puck in their zone and try to get it back into the neutral zone where they've actually kind of controlled tonight like they did last week, that the neutral zone on that one. But it'll be interesting to see how the adjustments by both coaching staffs.
Well, and we had 3 penalties by Eastern Washington in that first period. Still in the box is Liam McGowan. He's serving the remainder of his 2-minute boarding call. But we heard assistant coach Joey Porco talk about it at the intermission. Eastern Washington has to stay out of the box if they want to be competitive, and they've got to not put the puck in their own net. Unfortunate poke check by Jelinek there as he tried to poke it away and poked it right up over the top of his netminder, and it looks like it's Groberek that's going to take credit for that one. An unfortunate way to give up a power play goal for Eastern Washington.
It was. Jelinek is an outstanding hockey player, but there's another example of it. Eastern just seemed a little bit unsure of what they wanted to do. Did they want to go on the attack, or were they trying to just knock the puck out of the way? And it's a little indecisiveness what I'm seeing out of Eastern right now, and hopefully they can correct that on the bench as the period goes on. But yeah, it was just one of those unfortunate hops. But again, this is a great test for Eastern. How are they going to bounce back off this one? But you know, we've talked about it for about 5 years now on the penalties for Eastern, Tyler, and it's like they just sometimes shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, we saw it right there. So both of these teams, 1 even strength goal, 1 power play goal, all knotted up at 2 in the second period. That goal officially 51 seconds of the second period, a power play goal, Groberek from Hruby. And I guess you can also give the assist there to Jelinek. Unfortunate for Eastern Washington, but he's good enough on the other side of the puck that I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to earn that one back and put this one.
He's outstanding.
Behind him as Dezerkis is going to fire that one in off of the end wall. And now coming up ahead is Kadera, takes a shot and swallowed by Sam Brash, his 13th save of the night.
And Kadera did a great job on that one because Clark was just hassling him all the way down there, hitting him with his stick. And he still got a decent shot on Mr. Brash, who's had an outstanding game so far for Eastern. One thing I did see was nice. Eastern started going to a cycle game last time they were in the Raiders and that's what helped them last week. And so hopefully that's one of the adjustments they went back to and go back to their cycle game.
And now a pass out by Eastern Washington, a 2-on-2 opportunity. On the far side is Bunch. He goes around the outside, feeds it across, and Leonov just can't get enough of it as it's going to bounce and head the other way. Capitano now. Turned aside, now to the top of the zone, able to just barely keep it in. Shot by Hruby. He had the assist on the last one. Wide of the mark, delayed penalty coming against Eastern Washington. That one clangs off of the iron. To the bench now is Cass. Extra skater on the bench. Dangerous puck out front. And now underneath Brash. He had to save it 3 or 4 times there. We'll see what the penalty is. It'll be an interference call against Eastern Washington.
I think it looked like Nickish to me was going to go That was an outstanding save by Brash. You're right. He did 3 of them almost in the same one. No, it's not. It's going to go against Zennerquist on that one. At first, it looked like they were going to go up on Nickish, but they didn't. They changed it. But Brash just stood on his head on that one. That was some outstanding play by him to keep that puck out of the net.
So that penalty officially 2:51 of the second period. Cam Zetterquist, 2 minutes for interference, putting Eastern Washington back on the penalty kill. Puck up to the top of the zone, bouncing towards the net. And Goberick going to pick it up in the corner. Floats it over to the far side, now back in front of the Raiders bench. A couple of steps by Ruby. And he puts it just wide of the net. Player waiting on the back post, couldn't get a hold of it. Tortelot, top shelf, and then Grobrick trying to look for that far corner.
That was a nice play by Joshua Boot on that one. He made the Raider change his mind on which way he was going to go just by the angle he took. Nice job by Boot.
Now Ryder up the center of the ice, off of the skate of Dezerkis out front. And now Eastern Washington scrambling to try and just get some possession of this puck. The Raiders calm with it back in their own end. Ruby pushes it up ahead. Schoenfielder has it. Knocked into the corner by Brash. 44 seconds left on the power play. Gloved out of the air by Sam Brash. With 15:48 left in the second, 40 seconds left on the minor penalty to Cam Zetterquist.
That was a great glove stop by Brash because Keenan was right in front of him. He definitely was traffic in front of Brash to even see that puck to snag it. Nice job by Sam.
Top of the zone, Schoenfelder. And again, put into the netting.
Right now, what it looks like to me is the Raiders are more methodical in their attack right now. They're not scrambling around, and right now Eastern hasn't matched that quite yet. And that's what you were making reference to, that they were running around. And that's the best thing I can describe. There's a purpose with the attack that the Raiders are doing right now.
That one bounces just up over the stick of Schoenfielder. Dezerkis with some pressure. He's going to head back. And the puck to Barnard across the blue line. Tries to feed it across. And it's poked back out into neutral ice. 10 seconds left on the power play. Bunch on the pressure. But Pacocha just able to walk in almost all the way down. And now finally back to Kadera. Out of the box comes Zetterquist. And Eastern Washington back to five-a-side hockey. Back and forth passing there. Kadera fed it to the far side, and it went just outside of this near post. Schoenfielder with it. Backhand attempt and saved by Brash in the blue paint.
Brash is playing outstanding right now because what the Raiders are doing to here comes Lusk.
He feeds it off to Nickish. Nickish trying to get that shot off and puts it right into the sliding Yang. Heading the other direction now is Capitano, and he's taken off of the puck by a couple of white uniforms. Looking for that long pass down the ice, kicked back to Lusk. He's going to wind up, take a shot in and out of the midsection of Cass, backhanded towards the top of the blue paint, and finally covered up and pinned to the ice by Cass. But just what we saw at the other end of the ice, a little bit of a scramble by the netminder. Seeing it now by Cass, and both goalies able to keep their composure.
Well, one of the things the Raiders are doing this period that I didn't pick up in the first is they're making Eastern commit first when they're on the attack, and so they want Eastern to make their first move, and they've been skating around quite a bit on that one. That's a big adjustment I've noticed with the Raiders this period.
Jelinek to Kendall behind the net, back to Jelinek. It's going to rim around to Boot at the near point. Kicked back behind the net. Kendall going to get it on the far side. Now to Myers. Myers has it tipped just wide of the net by traffic out front. Jelinek with it. He's at the top of the zone, thinks about leaving it off for Myers, decides to keep skating with it. He's going to make another circle behind the net, now feeds it up to Boot. Boot loses it. He's got to give chase. Heavy pressure from behind. And he's able to beat out Parsons. And that's going to be too many men, I believe. Or they're going to say that came out of the zone potentially.
No, they're going. The Raiders are going in the box.
They are going to say too many men. So we'll see who it is that they send. But a good opportunity for Eastern Washington here as they are 1 for 1 on the power play. This one coming 6:36 of this second period. And it's going to be Meyer that they're going to send to the box for too many men.
Well, this could be what Eastern needed, because last time they scored on the power play, they settled down. They calmed themselves down, and that's how they got their goal. So hopefully the same thing happens here, that they can regroup and get their cycle play going a lot better.
Well, we talk about it all the time that the special teams in the ACHA is really the make or break for these teams. Even strength play is fairly even across the league, but the teams that separate themselves when there's an odd man on the ice. Just like that, Dom DeZerkis picks the post and finds the back of the net. Just like that, the Eagles go 2 for 2 on the power play and take advantage of the mental lapse by the Raiders.
If I'm not mistaken, Lusk is the one that got the assist on that one. He did a beautiful pass to Dom, but Lusk, what he did, he's kind of slid back to the blue line, got the puck, went toward the middle of it, and Dom did as usual, set it up in his home. And when that guy gets a clean shot on that one, the netminder's helpless. It's just that simple. That's how much DeZerkis has a shot. The kid's incredible.
We'll take a look at that one after the next stoppage here. And you nailed it, Gary. Officially 7:04 of this second period. It was DeZerkis from Lusk. DeZerkis' second goal of the game, his third point, his second goal of the season. And that extends Joel Lusk's team leading points total to 7.
DeZerkis is just an impressive hockey player. Just his IQ is incredible and his skill level matches it. But Lusk did a nice job of sliding back toward the blue line and then cutting over to his left to open up a little bit more of a passing lane. Nailed Dom right on his stick, and he just unloaded on the netminder.
Clark picks it up, sends it back behind the net. Arver with it now. There's a couple of shots from Goberick, not enough to move the 6'2" forward.
But now you're seeing Eastern go back and putting a lot more pressure on it. And they got the Raiders now chasing them, and that's the style Eastern wants to play. Let the other team chase them. That opens up some passing lanes for them.
And Eastern sends that one off of the referee in the corner. It bounces right back out front. Dangerous puck. And unable to hold on to it was, looks like Groberek. The puck kind of everywhere, and Brash wisely going to cover that one up. But let's take a look back at that last goal from Dom DeZerkis. Up top, near side, near post, back of the net, and then the celly for the crowd. His second of the night, DeZerkis from Lusk, putting the Eagles up 3-2 here on Taylor Swift night. The Eagles able to shake off that own goal and immediately get right back into this one. Near side to Keenan. He's knocked off of the puck. It goes up top through traffic by Kadera. Read well by Brash, and now the Eagles headed the other direction. Kendall has it across the blue line. He's going to put that in and out of the glove of Cass. Dangerous puck out front for Eastern Washington, and that one's going to get sent up into the netting as some conversation net side.
Well, it looked like Cass let that glove bounce out of his glove hand. I think he thought his D-man was going to pick it up, and the puck kind of went past him when it came out of his glove, and it got a nice point-blank shot on that one. So I think it was going to be a set play by Cass. It just went awry on him, and Eastern got a great look and a good shot off on that one.
It's 10:36 left in this middle frame. Eagles lead 3-2, but are being outshot 24-16. 2 of Eastern Washington's 3 goals on the power play, 1 of Milwaukee's. Jelinek sends it back behind to Kendall. He tried to backhand it out front, kind of a spin around, and a takeaway by Capitano, it looks like. He's going to send it in. Yang on the far side gets blown up as he gets rid of the puck. And that one just out of the reach of Lusk. They're going to say it was touched. So now Lusk having to battle for it in front of his own shoot door. He's going to overskate that one. And Pacocha into the wall.
Eastern's definitely throwing their body more right now in the last minute and a half of this game.
That one just off of the mark, but able to get it across the blue line. Leonov waiting for it out front. Instead, it's going to go up top to Zetterquist. It's kicked over to the far side. Clark winds up, fires a rocket into the back of the net.
Nice job by Keegan Clark on that one. He started to wind up on it. He made the player from the Raiders move over, and he almost looks like he screened him from way out on the top of the slot. But nice hesitation, nice little fake shot by Clark, and then he moved in a little bit more, and he unloaded on it. And he scored last week, too. The guy's developed his offense.
You know who his shot reminds me a lot of is Trent Wells.
Yeah.
He lines up, and he's not afraid to just put that laser through traffic and just let what happens.
But Clark is definitely more offensive-minded this year than I've seen him even last year. And it's good to see because he moved in really well. He positioned himself perfectly for that shot.
And the assist on that one going to go to Cam Zetterquist. I believe that's his first point in an Eastern Washington uniform.
It is.
So congratulations to Cam out here making a difference in this one as Eastern Washington is now up 4-2 over the Raiders. And a chance here again on the attack. As Nickish pulled down from behind, both officials keep their arms down on that one.
That was from Myers from the Raiders. A great job by him because he back-checked all the way down. If not, Eastern would have had an easy shot. Nice job by Myers.
And even there, they had the 3-on-2, and a good job, you're right, by Myers to keep that puck on the outside. Bunch of swing and a miss on that one. And we'll get you that replay here at the next stoppage. But heading the other direction now is Tortolot, and that's going to be swallowed up by Brash. Let's take a look back at that rocket by Keegan Clark. See the puck down low. It gets up top. Zetterquist off of the leg pads. Clark thinks about it, takes a couple of steps, winds up back of the net. And those are tough for the goaltenders. I mean, Cass, what are you going to do the shot that quick through traffic from that distance?
There wasn't anything because one Raider was going down because he thought Clark was going to shoot the first time. And when Clark delayed, he was already down. So Cass, I don't even think he saw it, to be frank with you. There was so much traffic in front of him, but great job by Keegan Clark on that.
Puck sent behind the net again. Eastern looking to slide it inside of that near post. Must have been something that they saw in film from that first game because their shots are going to that near post from low down against Cass. They've scored 3 goals that way so far. Trying to go inside of that near post, maybe something they saw in the tape of the seal that Cass has. But whatever it is, Eastern able to take advantage of it.
Well, see, now what's nice to see, Eastern's attacking again. They kind of went away from it. Now they're doing it, going back to that style.
Broberek trying to put that in, and somehow on the near side, I think that was Capitanu that just couldn't find the open net.
But I think that had a lot to do with McGowan. He was hassling Capitano the whole way, and he did a nice job of really deflecting that. So great job by Liam McGowan on that.
I've been very impressed with McGowan tonight.
He's outstanding. He was outstanding last week. The kid's just a stud.
Puck squirts just past Dezerkis. He's not able to catch up to it, as Capitano now has to stretch out for that one. Clark, the latest goal scorer, he's going to beat him to the puck, and instead Capitano takes it right off of Clark's stick. And Brash covers that one up as Clark gives him a little whisper.
That was a nice job by Brash to track it, because he beelined that the whole time. He was following it well. But you were talking about McGowan, but the kid, he just has a solid IQ, and if he does make any kind of little error, he can recover real fast, and he's not one to hang his head. That was a great find for Eastern, bringing him in.
That one sent up ahead by Clark. He's held up, but the puck's still in the Milwaukee end as it's going to come up into neutral ice. O'Reilly tries to feed that to his own man, but Arver there for Eastern Washington. He walks it in, loses it atop the Pac-8 logo on the ice. And then Dezerkis is going to send it back into that far corner. As a reminder, that Pac-8 championship tournament coming your way here in Cheney in February. We'll have more information on the broadcast and, of course, on the Pac-8 and Eastern Washington social medias. And we'll see what this call is for. That one looked like it was fairly clean, but the puck must have floated away before Josh Boot got there.
That was an interesting call.
That one going to be 14-15 of this period. And it's going to be Josh Boot, 2 minutes for interference. So Eastern Washington in this one, they've got a trip, back-to-back boardings, and now back-to-back interferences. And they're giving the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders a chance to get back into this one.
And it's only a matter of time. The Raiders are going to take advantage of these shorthanded situations, because they're a talented hockey team. You can't just keep going a man down against them. It's going to bite them.
And now on the attack is Jelinek, in just a couple more feet, and he would have been able to catch up to that one, but a good poke check by Cody Cass.
That's what makes Jelinek so tough. He's so quick and shady. I mean, the guy can stick handle extremely well.
Good pass across the zone. Now out into the slot. O'Reilly pushes it back to the top of the zone, and they're going to say that Pakacha kept that one in. This one sent along the red runner, finally kicks off of the boards. Pakacha has it over to his D partner. Now back to Pakacha. Ruby with it. Rather, that's Tortolot. He's got O'Reilly and Schoenfielder in the middle. Instead, he goes up top. Now O'Reilly on the near side. Feeds it back up to Reeder. Now back down to O'Reilly. O'Reilly down below the goal line. Now back up top to Reeder. Reeder across the zone now. Cadero with it. Through traffic. Brash reads that, shoulders it out to his defenseman, who clears it into neutral ice. 45 seconds left on the power play for Milwaukee. Bunch going to pick it up. And not sure what they called here. I think this might have been an intentional offside, as there was an offside there, and Cadero went and put some pressure on Bunch. And they're going to send that puck all the way back down. So that looks like that's what the call was. Not something you see very often. But Eastern Washington catching a break with 38 seconds left in the penalty kill. Smith has it. He's going to try and dump it in. But Barnard on the far side somehow comes away with that, beats two white uniforms, puts that just wide of the net. Cadera crashing the near post. Barnard on the far side, behind the net, going to let it go to the far side. And Eli Nickish sends it back behind the net of the Raiders. Dezerkis tried to pin that against the wall, but had it picked out from behind him. Able to win possession again and essentially kill off the rest of this penalty for his team.
Well, that's just his back checking. He didn't quit on any of it. He just kept going with it.
What a nifty little play there. Left it off for Cadera and then screened the netminder from 30 feet away. And that'll be an icing as it's sent back down, but a good clearance there by Eastern Washington, going to give themselves a chance to catch their breath after they recover from.
But that was a nice little saucer pass that he did, and then he actually just kept going to do a screen on him.
Dezerkas trying to get a new stick here, and the official giving him a hard time about it. And now they're going to give the bench a technical. This one's a little tough to look at here. Dezerkas is going back to the bench to get a new stick. The official can't be patient here. There's no rule that says that he has to go take the face-off with no stick. The coach is letting the official know that he's getting the stick, and I'm sure that head coach Joe White maybe had some choice words. But of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalties called on Eastern Washington, all of them have been called by the official on the far side of the ice here. So this penalty going to come 16-27 of this period, and it'll be an unsportsmanlike for the bench. Going to be served by Kowalik. And they're going to say no goal here as it was swallowed up by Brash.
Raiders thought it went through, but nope. Brash did a nice job.
The Raiders were celebrating. They thought they had taken advantage. And the crowd getting into it. 1:40 left on this unsportsmanlike minor.
And I'll be frank, I'm still a bit stunned on that call, Tyler. It's like I'm not really. I don't know. But it's Taylor Swift night, so you can't be all that mad.
Can't be that mad. You just got to shake it off and move on.
Excellent.
You got a reputation to protect.
That's right, because there's haters out there.
And a shot taken by Groberek on the right side, and that is going to cost Eastern Washington as Groberek able to find the back of the net. 17:05 into this period.
And Groberek had a nice shot, went up high, and Brash got his glove on it. He got it. It just went off the top of his mitt. It went in the net. But there again, that was a costly penalty, to be honest with you.
Now, those are never penalties that you like to see impact the game. But the Raiders doing a great job of taking advantage of it.
Oh, you got to give the Raiders credit. There's no quit in this hockey team. They were down by 2, and it didn't seem to faze them one bit.
So just like that, the goal officially 17:05 of this second period from Groberek, his second goal in a row for Milwaukee. And that puts his team within 4-3. And I'm not quite sure that you can call that a stick lift, but dislodged the stick, and now Eastern Washington's so ready to throw the body, they're throwing it at each other. Little discombobulated here over the last couple of minutes.
Well, again, they're going back and chasing the Raiders rather than just staying in there where they need to be positionally.
Boot has to chase that one, and Myers on the far side. He's got Boot behind the net. That's where he tries to go. Now a little overlap. And back to Boot. Eastern Washington out of their own zone atop the logo at center ice. Kendall on the left side. Feeds it out front, looking for that rebound by Jelinek. And Cass holding on to it with 1:41 left to go. Milwaukee putting the puck on the net quite a bit in this period. They've already got 21 shots so far in this second period.
Well, they definitely opened up their game quite a bit, and that's where you're seeing Eastern chasing them a tad bit more than what they did in the first period, and that's why there's such a difference in the shots on goal. But you got to give credit to the Raiders on that when they kind of taking Eastern out of their game.
This one pushed up ahead, taken away by the Eagles right on top of that Pac-8 logo by Zetterquist in the center of the zone. Or I'm sorry, that was Kendall. Kowalik feeds it down low. Now back to Kowalik. Tries to feed it back over to Lusk. Jelinek going to have to battle for it. Now Kendall tries to get it to the slot. Can't get it there. McGowan feeds it behind the net. Jelinek leaves it off for Lusk. And Kowalik able to keep it in, at least for the moment. Under a minute left to play here in the second frame of our homecoming game in Cheney, Washington. It is homecoming weekend. And they're going to call that one an icing. If you're looking for tickets for tomorrow, just scan that QR code right here on the screen or head over to EWUeagleshockey.com. Pick up your tickets for just $10. And as you can see through two periods, it is going to be an incredible game tomorrow when puck drops at 2 p.m. If you can't join us live, be sure to join us here on the broadcast as Gary Allen will bring you all of the action live from the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center. Bunch has it, feeds it down low. Nickish now looking for the near side. Eastern going to try and find one more late as the Raiders going to try and send it the other direction. Clark knocked off of the puck. Both teams look content with just kind of holding on to it here, at least for the moment. That one mishandled by the Raiders. And we're going to have another penalty. We'll see who this one's on. It's an elbow. And Eastern Washington just not able to stay out of the box. As at the end of the first period, they took a penalty with just 7 seconds left. And in this period, they're going to take one with 8 seconds left. So moving backwards just slightly. But now it's going to be an elbow to Leonov. The Eagles able to hold on at the end of the first period, but immediately gave up a goal, power play goal, to start the second. Bouncing puck around, and that'll be it for this second period. But not the way that the Eagles wanted to head into the locker room. Held a 2-goal lead for a substantial portion of this period, about half of it. But it was Joe Groberek, number 67, with his fourth goal of the season, that put the Raiders within one at this break. Stick around because we're going to send it on down to Reagan, who's in the back hallway, ready to speak with one of the players down there, see who she's got. 33 shots for the Raiders in this one so far, just 17 for Eastern Washington. And we're going to send it on downstairs to Reagan, who's standing by with one of the Eastern Washington players.
All right, Jack. So what was it like kind of scoring your first goal at home, like getting a big scorer and
It's so exciting just being with the boys to celebrate. That was like, out. Exciting.
awesome? And then how do you try to keep moments up in such a close watches?
Yeah, just kind of getting hyped on the bench, especially staying loose and have fun.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much, Reagan, for your interview downstairs with Jeff Leonov. He scored his first goal to open up this game, just 10:21 into that first period. Great showing for the Eagles so far. We're going to step away and be back with the exciting conclusion of this ACHA matchup between the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders and the Eastern Washington University Eagles. University Recreation. Down Eastern Washington Eagles and the visiting Milwaukee. Fantastic so far in this contest, coming out here from the Midwest, and have held their own against Eastern Washington. A very competitive game for these two teams. Eastern Washington leading after 2 periods, but they're going to start with a man in the box for the second period in a row. As late in that third period, it was Leonov that took a 2-minute call for elbowing. It was all Milwaukee in that second period in terms of shots. They put on 21 shots, whereas Eastern Washington only able to get 7. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, we were talking about this in the break. It's been kind of a tale of 2 periods for the Eastern Washington Eagles, and they'll look to continue some of that first period action here in the second, but it is Milwaukee right off the bat again, second period in a row, taking advantage of that hangover penalty. And just like that, we are all knotted up at 4, just 21 seconds into this period. Thanks to Hayden Reeder, his second goal of the season.
We got to tip your cap to the Raiders. I mean, they're battling extremely well. That was an unfortunate one. Brashews had an outstanding game. He made the initial shot, but the rebound came out too far, went right on the Raiders' stick, and he buried it in the top shelf. What I want to see Eastern do this period, and they did it well in the first, but they got to clog up those passing lanes for Milwaukee. That second period, that's where Milwaukee got all their shots. Eastern just would not clog up any of those lanes, and they were just barnstorming Eastern on that.
Cadera tries to feed that back. Pacacha, the first one there in a black uniform. If you're just joining us, the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders in the red and black, moving from right to left across your screen. The Eastern Washington Eagles in the white and red, moving from left to right. This one pushed ahead to Dezerkis. He has 2 already. He's going to dump that one high and into the corner. Waited until he got across that center stripe. Now Eastern with it again, looking for Kendall out front. Instead, it's going to go to the top of the zone where Zetterquist picks it up. A high dump right into the waiting hands of Joel Lusk. Or I'm sorry, rather that was Keegan Clark.
One of the biggest things I've seen a difference, first period, Eastern took the attack to the Raiders. In the second period, the Raiders flopped it, and they took the attack to Eastern. So I'm hoping to see Eastern go back on that attack, spread out a little bit more, quit chasing Milwaukee, and going back on that attack.
Lusk on the left side puts that on net just off of the mark. He's frustrated. Bangs a stick on the end wall. Kendall picks the puck up again, tries to get it back over to his buddy Joel, and instead it's headed the other direction as Capitano comes across that line just a step too late. And we'll have an offside with 17:56 left to play.
Let's see right there on that play, even though Lusk got a little bit frustrated, that was a great job of attacking on that. He went down with the line mate, Jelinek, and they put pressure on the Raiders. It didn't work out for them, but at least they were attacking, and that's what I'm hoping Eastern does the rest of this period, is just go ahead and do their back checking and just put a ton of pressure on the Raiders like they did in that first period.
Eagles pick it up behind their own net. Now near side. Bunch has it. Tries to send it up the ice. Gets it as far as the blue line, but it's kept in. Turn. Shot fired by Capitano. And again, easily pushed up the ice. Dangerous puck out front. And O'Reilly going to pick it up on the far side. He tries to put that on net. The one thing I've noticed the Raiders are doing, every time they get the puck in the attacking zone, they're putting that on net. There's not a lot of passing going on when they're on the attack. They're looking for those rebounds and looking to put the puck back on the net.
Well, they're counting on the rebounds. You can see that, and when you hit it, they take that shot, but they also then flood usually two guys right toward the net looking for that rebound so they can kick it in. That's where if Eastern can intercept their passing lane off that would slow that down, which in turn would open up the ice for the Eagles.
And that one, an errant icing call, so they're just going to bring this one back to center ice.
Eastern just has to get back into their system, start playing with control and purpose.
And stay out of the box.
I wasn't going to bring that up. That's just certain. But I'm going to be frank with you, and it's very rare that we hammer on the officiating. But 3 of the penalties, they were quite questionable, which kept the Raiders in this game because they scored.
But all level now as coming across the line is Cadera. And bodies all over the ice here. Pacocha knocked off of the puck by Patrick, it looks like. Still a battle for the puck down in the corner. Now it floats out to Pacocha. And Patrick going to use his speed up the far side. I'm sorry, Patrick's on the near side. That's Leonov on the far side. 14-4 crashing. Stecker had it, knocked off of the puck. And now to the top of the zone, and it's pushed down into the corner. Isaac Stecker with a hit in the corner. Players on top of each other. That one sent across the ice. Now Jelinek. He's going to go up top to Myers. Myers bouncing puck just off of the mark. As that bounce, it fooled Cass, but the aim just a couple of inches away.
And just at the last second, Cass threw out his blocker and got it.
Now Arver gets onto the ice right off the bench, picks it up and walks it in, gets a shot on net. Eastern Washington's 20th shot of the game.
But take nothing away from the Raiders. They came in and they flipped the script in the last period in that quarter. They've really put the attack to Eastern.
That one just a bit ahead as Sam Brash tried to push that one aside, and it caught the blade of his stick and wrapped right behind him. The second miscue own goal for Eastern Washington of the contest, and this one is going to put the Raiders up on top. If you're a netminder, you've got to shake that one off and do it quickly.
Oh, you got to forget about it right away. You can't let that linger at all.
And the crowd here letting Brash know that it's okay. I believe that was Goberek that they're going to credit that with, or at least he's the one that took credit for it. If so, that would be his 3rd goal of the contest.
That was an extremely fluky goal, let's say that.
And that's the second one tonight, as there was one in the second period where Jelinek went to poke the puck out front and just went up and over the top of Brash. So that was officially Goberek from Belamonte. But that's Goberek's 2nd own goal credit in this contest. So he'll get credited for a hat trick, but only one of those goals actually came off of his stick into the back of the net. But doesn't matter. It's still worth 3 points on the night. And you can just see that Eastern Washington a bit deflated after that.
Well, that's what I'm interested in seeing, how they respond right now.
And a kick save by Brash. And that's what you want to see, that first save after something like that. Always the toughest for the netminder. Now he's got a save between him and the incident, so he can start moving forward. And that's going to be a trip against Eastern Washington. Just a miss on the poke check. And it was Pacocha that hit the ice. First penalty of the 3rd period for the Eagles. This one coming 6-11.
Well, it just seems to me right now, Eastern, every time they start getting a little momentum, the penalty hits them, and they just kind of stunt their own momentum that they build up because they started to regroup after that fluky goal, and now they're back in the box again.
A very pivotal power play here for the Raiders. Their chance to get a third straight goal and put themselves up by 2 with the man advantage. Lusk and Jelinek trade off. The Raiders very content with taking their time, being very intentional with the puck again, as you pointed out.
Well, they try to open up the ice doing it that way. They do a good job.
Reeder has it. Now Lusk makes one man miss, and he's knocked off of the puck almost just at the very last second is dislodged and can't get the shot off. And this one will be dumped all the way around out of the reach of Cass. Big hit against the wall. Jelinek out front and can't get the shot off again. The Eagles getting the puck to the slot, but not able to get it the extra 10 feet into the crease. Half of the penalty expired. This one going to go all the way down the ice.
Well, that's a good sign for the Eagles. So they're getting it in that slot like we were mentioning. They're just a little bit off on getting that shot, but at least they're getting there now. So let's see if they can pick up on that.
Odd man rush almost for the Raiders. Bunch has it. He tries to backhand it out of the zone. He's able to get it past the blue line. So Kadera's got to go all the way back into his own end. 26 seconds left on the man advantage. At the blue line, Kadera knocked off of the puck hard at the slot, and Brash going to cover that one up and send it over to the far side circle. Brash going to reset himself here. Still lots of time in a very close game.
Yeah, but we've said it a couple times. Both teams are evenly matched right now. The Raiders are just taking advantage of some of the miscues that Eastern's doing, but both teams are a mirror image of each other.
So back out into the neutral zone, mishandled, sent all the way back to Dzurkis. He shoots that down the ice. And it'll be a high stick as that one went off of Belmonte high, and then he was the first one to chase that down. Petty play by the forward in black as he felt the pressure behind him, and it was either take this penalty, or take the delay, I guess you'd call it, the call, or let Eastern Washington walk in with that puck. Sometimes it's better just to take that whistle.
It was, because Bunch was flying in there, and if he wouldn't have, Bunch easily would have wrapped that up, and Smitty was following pretty well, trailing them. So good job by the Raiders.
Smith has to chase. He's not able to keep it in. And the Eagles get it back in, but Kadera there first. Speed for Kadera up the left side. He's got Boot in front of him. Tries to feed it out front. Boot shuts the door, but the second attempt finds his man. Shot taken wide of the mark. Now again, right out front. Brash deflects that wide of the net. Good point-blank save by the Eastern Washington netminder. Shot from the point deflected into the corner. Myers for Eastern Washington over to Boot near side. Boot off the wall up to Bunch. Bouncing puck, mishandled by Nickish, chopped back in, and now Myers going to have time behind his own net as we tick towards the halfway point in this third period. Brash out of his net. He's going to leave that one for Boot. A takeaway at the blue line, and Jake Nickish able to poke that one away from behind. That one behind Brash's net. Yang giving chase. He's put up against the wall by McGowan. And now a reverse as McGowan put into the wall by Yang. Brash loses his feet with the puck off the mark into the corner. Belmonte up top. Again, Brash kick save, able to get his foot out there. As Nickish over to Stecker. Stecker on net, snatched off of the ice by Cass. And that'll be the 19th save of the night for Cody Cass.
It almost looks to me like Milwaukee they're looking for Eastern to make a mistake. Just how they're positioning themselves right now and how they're attacking. They're waiting for Eastern to make an errant pass or something. They're jumping on it, and they're quick enough to do that.
Puck won by the Eagles. Up top to Kowalik. Turnaround shot by Smith. Puck at the top of the crease, still loose, poked over into the corner. The Eagles, again, getting that puck to dangerous areas, just not able to capitalize.
They just can't finish it. Right when it's there, they just seem to have trouble finishing it.
And now DeZerkis with some speed. He catches up to Reeder as he comes across the blue line. But the officials say that he came across a step late, so we'll bring the action back out into a neutral ice in front of the Eastern Washington bench. And it's worth noting that these two teams both played to a one-goal game in their last contests, as Milwaukee beat Roosevelt 6-5, and Eastern Washington fell to Montana Tech 4-3 in overtime last Saturday. Kocha knocked off of the puck. Arver sends that one all the way around. And now here comes DeZerkis. He's looking to pick it up on the back door. He's got a man behind him, and he's knocked off of the puck back behind the goal. And not able to get that shot on net, but good positioning by Dom.
That was Reeder that took him off the puck at the end. If not, Dom would have had it easily a backhand shot.
And good defense again by Milwaukee.
Well, they peeled off. If you watch Reeder, he was going in on an angle. And he realized that Dom was going to beat his line mate, so he came right behind the net where he knew Dom was going to have to go, and he did a nice job of getting his body in the way.
Big hit on the far corner. Eastern Washington with the puck. Up top to Clark. He puts another rocket on net, and this time it's the glove of Cody Cass that finds it. It's a little easier to track those pucks when there's not six players in between you and the shooter, I assume.
Yeah, it would help if Eastern get a little bit more traffic in front of Cass, because he's an outstanding netminder. So if you can get a little bit of traffic in front of him, that might help loosen things up.
Face-off coming to Cody Cass's glove side. And Kadera tossed out of the circle. In comes the Milwaukee captain. Cass with it again. Shot on net again, in and out of the glove of Cass. Clark put that one on net. Clark with it again. Stick handles for a moment. Finds his man. Ahead now to Jelinek. Jelinek across the blue line. Tries to feed that one down. Lusk picks it up behind the net for just a moment. Now the Eagles having to battle for possession. Now the Raiders across the blue line, across the center stripe, and now gaining the zone is Schoenfielder. Kadera sends that to Barnard in the middle. Now battle for the puck along the low wall. And Clark can't hold on to it. So back out to Ruby. Over to the far side. Kadera chasing it down. He'll get there first. One touch pass down into the Zamboni corner. Eagles collapse on him and now looking to break out the other direction. Off of the wall, ahead goes Lusk. Puts that on net, bouncing puck. And Eastern Washington just cannot find that rebound. A couple of opportunities right out into the slot, and it's a black uniform the first time every time. The miscue by Boot out into neutral ice. Near side now to Myers. Myers sees his man coming. In across the blue line. Leonov kicks it down below the end line. Leonov pinned against the boards. Now dangerous puck out front. Bunch can't turn it onto net. Booth has that one kicked away by Yang. And the Eagles able to keep it in, at least for the moment. And that one did stay in. Giving chase is Nickish on the far side. Boot swing and a miss. That's going to go all the way down. They're going to say he touched just enough of it. So Myers has to turn on the Jets. Makes a little S curve. Gets to the puck first there. Had to get his body in the way. Now Nickish with it up the far side. Near side to Bunch. Bunch trying to find somebody out front, and instead it goes behind the net and touched up ahead. Capitano across the blue line. He's taken out by two different Eagles. And now on top of an Eagle in the center of the zone still. A crowd very unhappy with that one as Groberick put that one just off the mark. 6 minutes left to play in regulation. Smith has it behind the net. Backhanded over to the far side. Belmonte loses it. Back into neutral ice. Sent around. And Kowalik going to pick it up on the far side.
Arbor's going to go off for 2 minutes.
And Eastern Washington sent that one down the ice. Not sure why they didn't blow the whistle there. Interesting. Never seen an icing called before the delayed penalty. But you were 100% right. There goes Robbie. And I didn't see what the call was. But he is going to take a 2-minute timeout. 14:31 of this third period. And not the position you want to be in if you're Eastern Washington. Not only an opportunity for Milwaukee to double up their lead. And 2 minutes for roughing for Arver. But not only does it give them the opportunity to double up their lead, but it also makes it a heck of a lot tougher for you to find the back of the net when they've got an extra skater out there.
Well, it does. And what it also, now with as many penalties Eastern's taken, it's wearing on them. Nice play by Bunch.
And what a grab out of the air.
Brash.
Concentration.
Unbelievable.
Unmatched by the netminder.
Sam Brash tracked that the whole way, and it was up in the air, and he basically was falling backwards, and he snagged it out of the air. But what happens when you take this many penalties, it starts wearing on you because not only are your penalty killers, they're starting getting tired. It takes a good shift or two to get back into sync, and you keep taking them, and sooner or later, the fatigue factor plays on you.
And now here comes Lusk. He's got to beat out, that was Ruby, and they got there at the same time. So now Lusk recovering here on defense. He's going to head back to the bench as Bunch now on the forecheck. He's going to use his body, use the official as a shield. Now some pushing and shoving after the play. The Eagles just looking to dump this one down the ice, not give Milwaukee any sort of opportunity to even possess the puck in the attacking zone. Now it is Tortolot. That one off of the post. And Nickish gets it back into the neutral zone. 40 seconds left on the power play. And Ryder upended to start that play. Now bouncing puck. There's 6 players on the ice here and still no call. That one, a blatant missed call by the officials here, as there was 6 players on the ice for a good 6 or 8 seconds there, enough for the crowd to notice, make some noise, and still have an extra guy on the ice. So 6-on-4 there for Milwaukee. 4 seconds left on that power play. And Kendall knocked down in the corner. The fans and the Eagles looking for a call on that one as well. Back to 5-a-side hockey. Puck sent out into the center of the zone. And now here come the Eagles. 2-on-2 opportunity. One high off of the glass, looking for that bounce back out front, I think. Myers beats his man, has to chase that puck down the low wall. As Kadera going to send that in and around. Arver finishes his check. Now has to find the puck. It goes back behind him, and this one wisely sent out of the zone by O'Reilly. Lusk on the right side looks to pick his spot. Good defense by Pacocha as he gets his blade to that and sends it up into the netting in front of the catwalk. 2:38 left to go. We'll have to keep an eye on the netminder for Eastern Washington to see if the Eagles pull him at some point.
One good sign, though, Eastern's putting more attacking pressure on the Raiders, and so we'll see how they absorb it, because they had trouble with Eastern in the first period with this pressure that they were putting on them. So we'll see if that will shake the Raiders at all.
Now that puck sent back down the ice, and that'll be an icing with 2:23 left to play in this contest. A hard-fought battle between these two teams, and a timeout coming for Eastern Washington. Really a tale of just a couple of goal scorers in this one. The goal scorers for Milwaukee, O'Reilly opened up the game. And then Groberick has had 3 since there. Reeder has 1. And that's how Milwaukee got to their 5. Eastern Washington opened up their scoring with Leonov. Then DeZerkis with back-to-back goals. And Clark, the latest netminder or goal scorer for Eastern Washington. But really, the story has been the penalties, Gary. Eastern Washington unable to keep 5 skaters on the ice. And playing down a man has led to 3 goals for the Raiders. And we talked about how important special teams is at this level. And we're really seeing it tonight. Of the 9 goals that have been scored, 5 of them have been on the special teams, all power play goals. And the netminder, Sam Brash, going to head back out there.
Well, there's no question the penalties have definitely hurt the Eagles today. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. And it's put a lot of pressure on them. But we'll see how they can recover, because there's still 2:20 left in this game. So there's not like they don't have time to turn this around.
No, definitely lots of time to score. The Eagles scored with just over 2 minutes remaining in that first period. And another icing, as the Raiders seem content with just dumping it down the ice and killing this clock off 6 seconds at a time. Face off won by the Raiders again. And this one floats towards Cass with 119 seconds left to play. Take a quick peek. Looks like the netminder for Eastern Washington still in his goal. That one floats up over the crossbar, over to Smith. He's going to chop that one back in. Near side to Bunch. Bunch keeps that one on the ice. Well read by Cass. Low angle shot. Back behind the net. Eastern looking to just get it out front to somebody. They're going to go up top, and to the bench goes Brash. And Eastern Washington going to head to the box again for a trip. Another call to break the momentum of Eastern Washington late in this game. And that's going to really make this tough for them in the final minute 34. As Leonov going to take a 2-minute timeout for tripping, Eastern Washington's 10th penalty of the game.
It's hard to build up momentum when you keep getting nailed with some of these calls that quite frankly are interesting.
Interesting is a great word. Face-off coming on the far side. Won by Milwaukee. Eastern going to have to be intentional in the final few seconds here. Just over a minute remaining.
Well, obviously they're going to have to take a few gambles that they wouldn't want to. But, yeah, you're right. Time's running out now.
That one off of the post and then behind Brash. Eastern getting away with one there. We'll see if Brash stays in net here when the puck heads back down the ice, but Eastern Washington not able to maintain possession yet.
It will be interesting to see if they do get possession, if they go ahead and pull them out. I mean, they're running out of time, and so they're going to have to take some drastic moves.
Puck won by the Raiders. Up top. Couple of steps, swallowed up by Brash.
But Brash has played a solid game for Eastern tonight. There might have been two that he would question, but he's done an outstanding job. And Cass, I can't say enough about how well he's played tonight for the Raiders.
This one sent the length of the ice. And it looks like Brash going to stay in his net. Jelinek on the right side. He's pinned up against the wall by the netminder, not something you see very often. Cass can do it all. It was very heady play by the Raider netminder. Because if he hadn't pinned Jelinek up against the wall, he would have picked up that puck and just beat him back to the net. Brash still in the goal. 15 seconds remaining. Off of the midsection, it looks like a Brash. That one going to go back behind the net around the near side. 5 seconds remaining. Eastern with one more trip down the ice. Lusk fires it on net, and it's swallowed up by Cass. But a good take there by Lusk. Maybe a couple of extra seconds, he would have been able to walk in on the netminder, and this maybe had a different finish. But as it stands, the Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders come into Cheney and take the first game of the weekend with a 5-4 victory. Now back-to-back one-goal victories for Milwaukee as they won 6-5 in their opener and then 5-4 here tonight. But really, Gary, as we talked about the story, the penalties for Eastern Washington, 10 minor penalties for the home team, 2 penalties for the visitors.
And you don't want to take anything away from Milwaukee. They played a solid game. But again, if you're taking that many penalties, it's really hard to get any kind of rhythm going. You know, it turns into a choppy hockey game because you're constantly moving players back and forth for the penalty kill, and that takes a toll on the team. But Milwaukee, they played well tonight, and Cass was outstanding. He
will be fun to watch tomorrow. And again, not to take anything away from Milwaukee. They played an incredible game, outshot the Eagles 43-32. But we can't forget that 2 of those goals Eastern Washington put in on themselves, which tells me that this game tomorrow is going to be incredible. If teams can stay out of their own net, you get the netminders in there. We saw Luke Chubiawa last Friday night stand on his head. It'll be an exciting game tomorrow at 2 o'clock here in Cheney. Gary Allen on the call for that one. We will be back the next home games, October 17th, will be Breast Cancer Awareness Night here in Cheney. Special jerseys arrived today, so be sure to head over to EWUEaglesHockey.com and get your tickets for tomorrow's game and for Breast Cancer Awareness Night on the 17th. For everybody here at Eastern Washington Hockey, for our broadcast crew, for our director, Kayla, our color man, Gary Allen, my name's Tyler Pisani saying good night. Go Eags. We'll see you at the Barrel House.